Man, oh man. Welcome to today's episode of the Montana Falaska Show. It is Tuesday night. It is 9 o'clock, and I am so tired that getting this done is going to be a little bit short and quick today because I want to be as consistent as possible, as my yearly goal is to stay consistent. But I'm tired tonight, guys, and I've had such a crazy week, and that's what we're going to talk about today. I'm going to try to stay on track, try to stay awake, and if you're watching the YouTube video, welcome to my lovely bed. I am recording this podcast in bed tonight because I can. And to be honest, my favorite thing about this podcast is that I really just like to do it. This is something that I like can jump on and I can record and just talk about whatever I want to talk about, no specifics. Sometimes I have them planned out, sometimes I just like to talk, but I just really like doing them, so it's not a big deal to me about having a big fancy studio or microphone or anything, which I mean, that would be cool, but I'm just happy to get on and talk. So this past week, a lot of things have been happening. I got a really cool job with another podcasting company, but it's just kind of starting, so I'm really excited because I will actually be working with doing this podcast, and I'm really excited because I get to work on a lot of the production side of it, and I'm gonna have a really cool mic and stuff that they said I could use for this podcast as well. And if you haven't heard of it, I'll tell you more about it when it's all in line. And I also have been doing a lot of photography projects, so that's super exciting. I'm picking up and getting in my creativity and getting some posts out there, and Valentine's Day is coming up and it's super exciting for me. And you know me, I'm always super excited. So it's been like a roller coaster, and I've been trying really hard to keep up with my fitness and my spin classes, and I've been doing yoga in the mornings, and so it's just been like crazy trying to get all of the things done. Right now, my driver for Benito for school in the morning, she got sick with the COVID. So whatever your thoughts on that are, we aren't going to get political here or anything, but yeah, so she hasn't been driving Ben, so that kind of cuts a little bit out on my schedule with like going to the gym and getting certain things done, but that's okay. I've been making do and just cutting out certain parts of that. I have 2 kid shoots coming up in photography, which is so cool because I kind of found a niche for photography. Like, I like to take photos of everything, but in the past few months I've kind of been more aiming for like, what's my favorite thing to do? And my favorite thing in photography to do lately is doing kids' birthdays, because I make these giant custom numbers, and the kids get to pick their 3 favorite colors, and I make a custom number according to that child and my design, and then hope that they love it. And we work in the studio and we get a lot of really cool pictures, and it's fun for them and fun for me because I get to get all crafty as well. And then oh, excuse me. And so I guess that's exciting to be able to do that with the kids and to find kind of a niche in what you like to do. I like working with kids. They're really fun, and you always learn something, and they always have crazy ideas of what they want for their photos. And yeah, so that's what I've been up to. So right now with my fitness and everything, I have like this huge goal of not spending money on like clothes and everything, but I do make fitness an exception. But I have a goal weight right now, and I have a goal set and a plan to treat myself to some new gym clothes in the month of April. And it's a lot more difficult than I thought it was going to be because I like really want to buy new gym clothes. I've been working really hard, and it's just a little bit difficult, but whatever. Anyways, so I made the plan to do it like when I get my GST, because then it's money that's not planned for, like that's already taken or that I'm saving. It's money that is just coming in, and then I can spend it and I don't have to worry about it like cutting into my other expenses or anything. So that's really exciting for that. That's a nice plan. This past week I've kind of been talking about books I'm reading. Right now I am reading The Folly of Fools, and I have my front camera on, so it's backwards. I'll have to flip this when I put it onto the YouTube. Oh my gosh, I'm talking like such a dork right now. So I'm reading The Folly of Fools, and The Folly of Fools is the logic of deceit and self-deception in human life, and it's actually really interesting. It's kind of scientific, but at the same time, the author, Robert Trivers, he breaks it down in chapters, so it makes it a little bit easier to understand the scientific side of it, and he explains things really well. I am just finishing up in the first chapter, so I haven't got too far into the book, but I always make the commitment that I read the preface, and if the preface is interesting, then I start chapter 1, and if I start chapter 1, I have to finish the book to the end, even if I can't, like, I'm like, no, this is just taking too long, I can't read it, I can't keep up. I force myself to get through it, because there's always something to be learned. If something in the preface attracts me, then I really want to finish the book. And I have even been considering, like, because this book's taking me a little bit longer to read, because I kind of have to go back and forth with it being a little bit more scientific than what I normally read. So I've kind of been like, well, maybe I could read 2 books at a time, but I'm like, no, you have to finish this book first. Ooh, excuse my yawn. So I am on that mission right now to finish this book. So see how thick it is. It's always deceiving when you look at books. Like, I always look at the top to be like, hey, how far have I got? Because it makes me feel good when I'm like, okay, I'm a quarter of the way through, I'm halfway through, I'm 3/4 through. So right now I'm like halfway through a quarter, which I'm like, well, whatever. You know what? I'm doing pretty good. With how busy I've been still I make sure I make time to read every day, even if it's just like a page and a half, because the cool thing about this book is it kind of sections off the chapters into little tiny sections too. So I can read like 4 pages and stop and be able to know where I'm at in the book. That way I'm not like trying to find what paragraph I was on and having to really catch up. It kind of breaks everything up. It's a good book for that. My next read is going to be The Sun and Her Flowers by Rupi Kaur. I've actually had that book in my hands for a while, and one of my best friends, Tressa, gave that book to me. And I have just finished her other book called Homebody. And I actually had no idea that The Sun and the Flowers were by Rupi Kaur, and it's been in my house literally for a year. I've had it in my house for a year. Tressa borrowed it to me a year ago, and I never got a chance to read it. And the only reason I figured out that it was by Rupi Kaur is because I finished the Homebody book, and it was like in the back of the Homebody book saying that that book was by her. So I'm really excited to read that book. And actually, I did say that I only read 1 book at a time. I am listening to the audiobook of The Wisdom of Insecurity by Alan Watts right now. I've already read that book twice, but now I'm listening to the audiobook because I feel like you always hear different messages when you're listening to somebody read to you. So I just listen to that when I drive in my car somewhere. It's 3 hours and 22 seconds on an audiobook or something like that, or 4 hours. So it's like a week and a half of listening to it while I'm driving around the city. So that's pretty much everything I've been up to. I've been doing a lot of spin. I'm patiently waiting for jiu-jitsu to come back full throttle so I can get back in there. I'm doing a program with my girlfriends at the gym right now. My cats are getting huge. Like, look at this guy. Anyway. Okay, let's not step on this other phone that's recording. So I hope that everybody is doing okay with all of everything, because I know, like, masks, ugh, I'm getting so tired of masks, you guys. Like, this is getting to be extreme. Like, I mean, it's already extreme, but I'm just like, having the worst skin problems with my masks. I've never had skin problems. I've never had acne problems. Like, you know, I have like my lip, everybody has like a little problem area, I guess, but now it's like all over my face and all over here, and it's kind of sad, but anyways, make the best of it. So another thing is, make sure you're drinking lots of water in this dry weather, especially if you're having like nasal problems. I know a lot of my friends are having some nasal problems lately just because the weather's so dry. So like, get those humidifiers going, and make sure you're drinking lots of water because it's going to help you with that. Hey, stop that. And maybe one time I'll get onto one of these episodes and I'll talk about mouth breathing and some Buteyko breathing with Kyle, because it's something that's really interesting that I think some people might want to learn about. And we'll learn about breath hold. Oh my god, my cat just almost fell off our end table. And we'll learn about breath holds and stuff. And I hope that everybody's having a good week. And I hope next week when I jump on here, I get to talk about some more fun stuff that's coming up and in line to be done. Oh, I'm also content creating now. So I run social media for people. I post on your social media every week and get everything together and organized, and I make like a monthly plan, and I'm doing that now just a little bit on the side for a pretty reasonable price, and it's kind of fun to build that platform. So yeah, that's all for today, you guys. I am going to bed, calling it quits at 12 minutes tonight. I'm very happy I got on here and got this done because that's what matters. My YouTube video will be up on Wednesday. My podcast is obviously going up this Tuesday evening. If you're getting a chance to listen to it tonight, I hope you love it. I hope that there's some kind of message in here for you. I hope you're growing. I hope you're learning. I hope you're patient. I hope you're consistent. And I hope that you know that you being you is your superpower, and use that, everybody. Have a super great sleep tonight. And thank you so much for tuning in to the Montana Palaska Show. Talk to you next week. And I'm